hip hop is not like traditional to Sierra Leone, but we love hip hop. So over the years, most of the biggest Sierra Leone artists have been like hip hop artists. But yeah, it's that
You ask me where I
yeah.
get all my energy from. From the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god. And you can be one too.
You're listening to Adeshokbe Live, the Afrobeats podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adeshokbe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, right here in the Afri Media Studios in London. This is where we break down the hottest topics in the culture, and most of the time I'm joined by a special guest one-on-one to chop it up with me in the studio. As always, we appreciate the subscriptions, like, comments, sharing, but we need those subscriptions to go up, because the last time I checked, 85% of the people watching this podcast are yet to subscribe. So if you're one of them, I want you to click the subscribe button right now, share to friends and family, and drop a comment. The bigger our platform gets, the better we're in position to promote our own culture and our people without waiting for others to do that for us. So we appreciate you for doing that. Whilst you're doing that, this is brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Stay energized, be yourself. This is for us, by us. Go to energygod.com, place your order, support the movement. We appreciate you whilst you do that. And as well, if you're based in the United Kingdom and you want to buy yourself a brand new car, a fairly used car, whatever it is, check out my brothers and sisters at Ancoat Car Sales. Check them on social media. They've got specialists that can look at your budget and look at the car of your dreams and find a way to make it work for you. Not only can they get you any type of car at all in this country, they can also deliver it to you stress-free at your doorstep. So check out Anchor Car Sales, send them a DM or a message, tell them Shop Sidu sent you, and you will get a discount. I guarantee you that. Now, joining me in the studio for the first time ever, all the way from Africa, West Side to be exact. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the first time I'm speaking to anybody from that country on this podcast, so I'm excited. Representing Salon, aka Sierra Leone, it's my brother Drizilik.
Yes, sir.
What's good, my brother? I would have wanted, a little Creole broken exchange. How you doing? How far?
Tell you what, thank you, we are small.
So, the crazy thing is, it's so amazing that when I listen to people from, Sierra Leone speaking, you feel like it's broken English,
Yes.
but that Creole, it's got something else in it.
Yeah, a FIBA, but a different small.
So do you guys, is it like you put the local language in it, or is it other languages that just feel that? Or is
Yeah.
it the way you twisted the English?
So yeah, Creole is like an amalgamation of all our colonizers' languages. So there is a little bit of Portuguese, French.
Wow.
Yes, when these freed slaves settled in Freetown,
Yes.
they didn't necessarily separate who came
From Portugal.
this or that or that. Like
They
just came.
just brought their own language.
Exactly. So it was just like this creates this big it's the slaves' language, basically. It's a language of freedom. Let me say that more progressive. Like
Absolutely.
it's the language of freedom. That's what we use to communicate on the plantations and when we were resettled back in Africa. So yeah.
What is it like? It's great to start there. Of course, Freetown plays a massive role in history, as you
Yes.
said, the land of free men and women who were stolen from far, from different lands across Africa and taken far away and then dumped back on the city.
Yeah.
You growing up, born and raised in Sierra Leone, talk to me about the significance of Freetown and what that history meant to you. Because when I was growing up in Nigeria, they taught us a little bit about that. But I believe nowadays they've kind of like taken away from the history lesson and taken away the significance of a city like Freetown. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, being one of the hubs of the exports, first of all, most slaves from that West African region either came from Freetown or Lagos.
Lagos, Ghana, yeah.
But the return is where Freetown's significance is. because when they set up like Granville Town, the place Freetown actually got its name from that resettlement. And we have the very first secondary school in West Africa,
Wow.
the Sierra Leone Grammar School. That's in Freetown. One of the first universities in West Africa, Afrobeats College, was built in Freetown.
A lot of Nigerian scholars went there.
Exactly. Most of the African leaders of the 70s, 80s, exactly. They all educated in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And there's so much about Freetown that has to do with like people finding their way, and like people coming together and then finding their way to their different. There was a huge Saro community in Sierra Leone, in Freetown, that were mostly Nigerians.
Yeah.
And when they left, that's how. Yeah, it's the story is there. That's how like the language is so similar. Like for example, my grandmom was born in Onitsha.
Wow.
Yeah, her and her siblings, like 7 of them.
No.
So there's a whole wing of my family that is so Nigerian, so Sierra Leonean. So yeah, it's Freetown is a melting point, and even up to today in the culture of Freetown is that of integration. Our people are welcoming. Every type of music in this world has blown up in Freetown. I'll be very honest with you, like Ghanaian music. That's why when you listen to someone from Freetown, the influence is there. It's hard for me to say the sound of the what makes my music different is the sound. It has to be the language, because the sound is similar. It's mixed, like hip hop music, R&B music, Afrobeats, Nigerian music, Fuji music, and all that, like music from other places, Guinea, French, West Africa, and all like Makossa and all that stuff. Like Freetown is such a big melting pot, and we have zero gatekeeping culture. So it's easy to be penetrated, like other exactly.
I see some of the Nigerian artists doing big shows in Freetown. Some of the Ghanaian artists doing big shows. Yeah. So is it that the radio system, the DJ system, they're very open to music from any other part of Africa? More than even the local sound in some cases.
It's the people, and then when the internet. So Sierra Leonean sound was the biggest sound in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
But then the internet happened.
Absolutely.
And because of lack of structures, we were left behind a little bit. And then when people got access to all these other stuff coming up from everywhere else, they welcomed it. So I wouldn't say it's because of what came in. It's just we didn't prepare enough we were not prepared enough for the internet. To export and to restructure to reimagine the approach of promotion and all that stuff, like distribution, most importantly, because that's where they lost it. When distribution changed from CD to that other thing, to MP3,
the MP3 and
exactly, that's where it lost. So yeah, man. But trust me, one thing, if it's not even the DJs, I'll be honest, it's the people. Sierra Leoneans have their ears outside. We want to hear things.
What's happening?
It's crazy. And the core of our culture, the Sierra Leonean culture, is not really in Freetown. It's in the provinces. So Freetown is like everybody else's contribution, like the foreigners, the this, the that. Like if I tell you,
that's like the mainstream market.
That's the market, exactly. It's like when you come to London. London is not so UK.
Absolutely.
It's everything. That's how Freetown is.
Oh yeah, I get that. Talk to me about your journey. I experienced, I heard about you, and then we connected when you came into London. The last time, I believe that's probably your 4th time in the UK, and maybe your 3rd show in London in a couple years. And I came to the concert, and I saw you on stage. It was crazy, And not only was your performance incredible with the band, but I also saw the connection with the fans. First of all, they say a man by what he's like around his family.
Yeah.
So when you want to see what a man is really like, look at him around his children, around his family, how they react to him, not how he reacts to them. you know. So when an entertainer comes from a community, you go and see him around his community, how they react to him, not how he reacts to them. And when I came into the audience and I saw how the fans were going crazy for the music, going word for word with your lyrics, I'm like, yo, this brother's been doing this music thing obviously for a while. Because, you know, the catalog was long. I think you were on stage for like over 1 hour. You stayed for like an hour and a half. Idris Elba pulled up. Idris Elba is, in anybody's estimation, top 3 black male entertainer in the world.
Period.
Like me, I don't mince it when I tell everybody. You go to Hollywood, top 3 black men or female in Hollywood, Idris Elba is there in the world. He pulls up to your show, performing with you on stage. That's when I said, okay, let's rewind. Let's get to know this brother. There's something here. Talk to me about your story so far.
Man, it's been a long time coming. But yeah, so I was born in Freetown. Started making music in 2011.
Jesus.
Yeah, we started in Freetown. I'm a music lover, you know. First of all, it started as just a way to express myself and, you know, find myself, basically. I use music to find myself. And then over the years, my motive of making music has changed. Like, you know, from time to time, it's been about the culture. It's been about me building myself. But what you saw on that show was me cultivating community for Sierra Leoneans outside of Sierra Leone. Because me and my manager, we have these conversations many times, even before we become business partners like that. For us Sierra Leoneans now, it's about what we do outside of Sierra Leone. Because like
Sierra Leone is good.
Exactly. For an artist like me, I wouldn't say I've hit like a glass ceiling or I've hit the top, because you never really reach the top. There's a higher level. But the more I push Sierra Leonean culture, not just the sound, the culture outside of Sierra Leone, the better it gets. Like the room for improvement is outside. So doing that show that time last November, it was about bringing the community together to say, look, this is what we've got. That's why it wasn't just me on that show. It was the therapist.
You brought therapists. You brought a couple of people.
Yeah. And shout outs to all of them. Danny, therapist, boy. These are like the top artists in Sierra Leone now. And that was their first time in the UK.
Whew.
And so yeah, it started as a one-man show. The first time I came to the UK was in 2019, and we did this show. It was me and other acts, but mainly actors were based in the UK. And then we attempted it again in 2022. But this time around, this plan started as a one-man show, and then we were like, you know what? This is bigger than me. I mean, let's bring these guys here. Let's make sure, let's build a table, not just a plate. Let's build a table and make sure everybody eats. So yeah, for me, having Idris Elba on, shout outs to Idris Elba, he came to support, and it was
that's no joke.
That was the moment for me, because it's about community. It's about the core of culture. You know, you have to build community. There is no culture without community.
Absolutely.
And for me, the point where Sierra Leonean music is, we need the community to push forward, especially in the diaspora.
You're a rapper. Hip hop, of course, has impacted black music globally and black culture globally for decades. Hip hop has enjoyed, you know, is why we dress the way we dress, is why we walk the way we walk, is why we talk the way we talk. It's all hip hop. Forget all that nonsense where people say, oh yeah, listen, hip hop influenced all black people around the world. I don't care where you are, whether you're in Lagos, Nigeria, Freetown, Sierra Leone, London, UK, hip hop was black identity through and through. And then the Afrobeats movement started, where pop music from West Africa and from Africa started to become successful. And the rap game in Africa had a moment where there was a wobble.
Yeah.
And you had to, as a rapper, as a gangster rapper, you had to be able to dance.
Yeah.
You had to be able to sing. You had to be able to do lamba. What were you thinking as a rapper who had carved your career throwing bars, writing lyrics, you know, really about that hip hop swag and stuff, and then the music shift came? What were you thinking? Were you thinking, yo, it's like game's up here, or how are we adapting? What was running through your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, it was about revisiting the board. First of all, that switch didn't only happen in Africa.
Yeah.
Even the American rappers,
Absolutely.
there was a time when they had to merge hip hop with R&B.
Yeah.
And hip hop with
Traps,
pop music and all
yeah.
that. So for me, it was about revisiting the board and be like, you know what? First of all, I'm a musician.
Talk that talk.
I'm a musician and a lyricist. So it's about preserving the pen and, you know, moving with the pen to wherever the sound takes me. I don't want to control the sound. I go with the sound. But what I say is the most important thing, and how I deliver the pen is the most important thing for me. So whether I'm singing it, I'm mumbling it, I'm rapping it, or I'm just doing spoken word, what I'm saying is what I have, is what's mine. So that's the thought process that I moved with when it was time for me to like adapt. Whenever it's time for me to adapt, for me the most important thing I keep is the pen, is the lyricism, the poetry. Yeah.
Who are the rappers that you kind of looked up to when you were coming up in the game on the streets of Freetown? You're looking for your stripes as a lyricist. Who are the rappers that you were listening to, idolizing, or looking up to try to become like local in Freetown or outside of the country or globally?
When I started making music, first of all, the main rappers that I was listening to when I started making music, this is not when I started listening to music, obviously. Shadow Boxer in Freetown, Sierra Leone. He's one of my biggest inspirations. M.I. Abaga, number one. Sarkodie. Sarkodie is like my favorite rapper, and AKA South Africa. Rest in peace to that man.
You're talking, man. You're talking. You see that Sarkodie and AKA you're mentioning there?
Yeah.
You know, MI is MI. We all know that's Mr. Incredible, but you know, there's a special connection with Sarkodie. I've always said that no matter how I want to cut it, Sark is in my top 2.
Yeah, clearly.
Anyhow I want to cut it.
Yeah.
You know.
No matter how.
Anyhow. I don't know how I want to cut it, mix it. He's in the top 2.
Yeah.
AKA is another one. And one of the reasons why I'm an AKA fan is not only because of his lyricism, his wordplay, but also sometimes his playfulness on the record.
His style.
He's so, like, AKA is so, like, he's so good and he knows he's good.
Yeah. It's the awareness. He's so self-aware. Like, when you listen to the music, he's just up. He's just up. But for me, I compare him to like Kanye West.
It's crazy.
He might not be like the best lyricist or the most poetic, but when he says something, he has that ability to convince you. You're convinced when he says I'm fresh. Like, look at what he did. He did to that N-word record with Ice Prince. That was a moment in African hip hop when that thing dropped. I remember watching the premiere. Yeah.
This is, in my opinion, one of the best. Where's that rap? Come on.
Money in a rush. Only when you see me in the club.
In the Baba, they don't born anybody well. I'm telling, like, yo, the way he's with the cadence.
Yeah.
R.I.P. my dog, man.
Yeah, he had it. So yeah, man, I listen to African hip hop, obviously American hip hop. Everybody, my 2 favorite artists are Drake and Kanye. Like Drake,
you obviously like the money too. You know what I mean?
Clearly,
you know they get to the money. Shout out Drake. My producer is rolling his eyes because he's not really with that Drake stuff, but we go back and forth. You know what I mean? You know.
No, yeah. So yeah,
I'm a Drake guy.
Mm-hmm. I am a big Drake fan. My friends used to call me Driz, and that's how I actually got my name. So my middle name is Menelik, and they used to call me Driz back in like 2009-10.
Wow.
So when I opened my first Facebook account, the name that I put there was Drizilik. That's like a merger of Drizi and Menelik.
Wow.
That's became my name, and then it just stuck. You know, when you have like this, Facebook was big then. Like,
absolutely.
When you have like a big Facebook name, they start calling you your Facebook name.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's how it's.
Listen, we talk about Sierra Leone, your identity. What are some of the kind of like the sounds that come up from that? We're not talking to you, Siri, man. What are some of the sounds that come out of? Because I know, like Nigeria, we've got, of course, High Life. There's Fuji. There's Juju. There's Afrobeat, the Fela style, and then now we have Afrobeats. We've got Niger pop. Ghana hip life, high life. Sierra Leone. What are the traditional sounds that come from there?
Okay. So there is boo music.
Hmm.
There is Gumbe music,
Hmm.
Milo jazz. So Milo jazz is more like a West African thing. That's like the Freetown sound. But yeah, we have Bubu music, we have Gumbe music, we have Milo jazz, palm wine music. Basically, that's like the sound. That's like the Freetown sound. And yeah, there are many others. We also do some amount of like calypso and all that, but that time has sort of passed now. But yeah, like I said, and hip hop is not like traditional to Sierra Leone, but we love hip hop. So over the years, most of the biggest Sierra Leonean artists have been like hip hop artists. But yeah, it's that Afrobeats.
Absolutely.
The contemporary music in Sierra Leone is Afrobeats, but mainly in Creole language. That's what makes our own different.
What makes it different. So who are the artists that you're listening to? Because you travel to Nigeria, travel to Ghana a lot. You've been out there, you see what your brothers and sisters are doing. Who are some of the artists that you're listening to from those parts of the countries? And why are those markets important to you?
First of all, I'm a music lover at core. When I go to Nigeria, I mean, I've worked with Mastercraft. I've worked with Biggie Jazzy. Shout out to Biggie Jazzy. Andre Vibes. The last time we went, we worked with
That's
Andre
the
Vibes.
multi-platinum selling producer. Stop playing. You know what I mean? Let's get that right.
Yeah. I love all the big three, Wizkid, Burna, and all. But I'm heavily inspired by like Fireboy.
Choose.
Adekunle Gold. These are like my guys.
I like where you're going.
I also listen to a lot of Ghanaian music. I listen to King Promise.
Yeah, that's one of my faves.
I also love there's this guy Kwesi Arthur.
That's a crazy lyrics. Kwesi, hey, yo, Kwesi knows. I've been on him for about 6-7 years. We need more music from Kwesi.
We need more.
We need more talk from Kwesi. Like Joey B, Kwesi Arthur.
I've worked with Joey B.
EL. Come on, man. And it's almost like the same mother gave birth to all three of these guys.
Yeah.
They're geniuses. They're crazy lyricists, but they just give us in doses. That's my problem.
But yeah, I listen. But like I said, I have my ears on the ground when it comes to African music. I listen deep, even down to the underground. Even he's fairly new. King Paluta.
Oh yeah.
I love his music, Edem and all, even all the way back Obrafo in Ghana, Yeah, those are my guys. So like I listen to a wide range of music from like different places. I just like to like pick stuff and keep them in the playlist.
Now you said you've been in the game for quite a while. You've been dropping music consistently. You've reached the heights that a pop artist in Sierra Leone would like to get to. You're performing at stadiums. I see tens of thousands of people at your show last year in Sierra Leone. But then you've got something that a lot of people don't have access to. Idris Elba. You got a collaboration with Idris Elba. Do you understand the weight of such a collaboration? And how much that can mean to an entertainer?
Yeah, I feel like I realize, but you know what? Every time I feel like I know, I see more. So I met Idris in I saw him the first time in Sierra Leone. I didn't actually meet him, but I was in the same room with him, and then we started talking shortly after he left. And yeah, so we've had these conversations and all that. And when I came to London in 2022, Like we linked up the very day I came. Like it was so sharp. Like I think he saw my story and he was like, "Yo, I know you're in town. Like pull up to the studio." Like he sent a car for me and then we went, bro. Every time I'm around him, I realize something more. And when we go out into like public places, like to the club, the other time he took me to Skepta's birthday party, and I just kept thinking, this is Idris Elba.
Unbelievable.
So but he's so accommodating. If you don't know him, you wouldn't know who is who in the room.
Absolutely.
I mean, he has aura. When he steps in, if you know a superstar, you know he is one. But he doesn't make you feel uncomfortable when he's around. Like if you go to his place, we're there barefoot, just chilling in the studio, no rush, no pressure. Like he would turn around and ask me, like he likes to rap in Creole. So when we're in the studio, he would turn around and ask, like, did I say this properly, or should I say it this way or this way or this way? And he makes the creative process easy and fluent, like there's no pressure of, oh, I'm working with Idris Elba, I need to be on my A. You understand? So he's accommodating. Like I know now, I know like the blessing fully, but every time I feel like I know, something new pops up, man.
Absolutely.
I was in Lagos with him last April. So he featured me in a movie.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 13. I was there for like 13 hours when he was shooting. Imagine my own scene was like 13 seconds.
Yeah.
But I was there for the whole time. And the way he blends and gels with the production team in Nigeria, it's just so like
seamless.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful watching him work. Like the humility, he makes the room comfortable for everybody else, and it's amazing.
I saw him, around his extended family once, and I'll say it to you. Idris Elba knew every baby's name, every child's name.
Yeah.
First time. Every one of the babies, every niece, every nephew, every baby. There was a different connection. Hey, come here, this, that. Every single one of them. And I'm watching, arguably one of the busiest men in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, be one of the busiest men around family.
Yeah.
Because you have to be present, so present in family.
For you to know everybody's name. Yeah.
Us Africans, if you're a big man now, big man know the day around anymore. You know, say, who's this one? Who's this one? When did this one? That kind of stuff. But I saw a completely different energy from that. And that is an inspiration in itself. Now you've worked with someone like that. You've performed on stage with someone like that. You've come to the UK. You're collaborating with different artists trying to take this Sierra Leonean sound and the Drizilik sound to the rest of the world. Yeah. And you hit me up. There's a brand new project. Wait and See.
Yeah.
2025. What's the inspiration behind Wait and See, and what is the dream for that project?
The name Wait and See came as a result of like the pressure, man. I'll be honest. Like there's so much on my back.
You're carrying the city on your back.
I'm carrying the entire, yeah.
Oh man, you're the one leading the charge. And you win, we all win. That's basically what it is.
That's how I love to see it, actually. So it's not like weight on my back, like negatively, but you drop something today and in 2 months' time, what's next? What's coming next? And I'm a project artist. Like people wait for an album, a Drizilik album, not just a single and stuff. So, I have all this music. I'm experimenting. I'm at the point in my career where, I have to like time the drops. I'm transitioning from this to this. I'm crafting something new for the next level. And then everybody's just like, when is this new thing dropping? When is that? And I'm like, you know what? I'll give you this. Wait and see. Like I'm working on this, and it's not easy. What got me here won't necessarily take me where I'm trying to go. So I'm just trying to Wait and See is me giving them like a mixture of what they love and where I'm heading. Just to tell them like I still have this, but there's so much more that I'm working on. So yeah, that's what brought about the EP and everything. So yeah, I have stacks. Like I have tracks that I've seated on.
So basically, this EP is, yes, to feed the fans, but also to tell them that there's something coming up.
Yes, yeah.
So 2025, we'll see an album from Drizilik.
I can't promise.
You don't wanna
I'll
put that
I'll be
pressure on
lying if I
yourself.
say yeah. I'll be lying. It's not even about the pressure. I'll be lying clearly if I say yes.
So we've seen you in 2024 performing in London.
Yeah.
You performed in 2022.
Mhm.
Are we going to get a 2025 performance? If we're talking about growth, to be honest
Absolutely.
with you, I think if you really want to do this thing, I think 2025, you need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do
I'm
it
coming.
again.
And this time around, I don't only want to do the main concert. I want to touch on other
Different
people's
cities.
shows, different cities, and also different communities. Because I won't lie, most of what we did the last time was mainly Sierra Leoneans.
That's
But
good.
I want to branch out there and just link up with the other communities and just share music purely. I'm a performer. I love performing, and most times I move with my band. And these guys are going to jam sessions here and there and all. I remember when we came in 2019, we performed in Hall City, all the way down there, and we performed at Oxford at one of our friends' wedding, and it was so big. I just want to do stuff. So this time around when I'm coming, when we come in with the band, we're just going to like do other shows. It doesn't have to be as big as the one we're putting on, but it's about community for me, and that's the plan. Like, hit the community, meet them where they are, and just bring them close together. Yeah, before we even drop music.
Listen, we're going to have more conversations like this. I'm happy that we've broken the ice this first time.
Yeah.
Wait and See is the project that's out now.
Yes.
Drizilik is not a new artist, but to you, it might be. So go check out the catalog of music with what's going on now. But what I can say to you is this. Very few artists I see for the first time without even listening to their catalog and be like, yo, this brother's got something special. You're one of them. I enjoyed your show completely. It was an incredible performance. The band was amazing. Your control of the stage was incredible. As a rapper, what you did was outstanding. You were not a rapper, you were a performer. And I think that's another lesson that young rappers can go and look at and emulate. So I want to say congrats on
Thanks.
what's happening. Wait and See is out now. We're going to be meeting again really soon. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers in the room, please give it up for my brother. Drizilik!
Yeah, man. And hey, before we close, I want to say thanks to you for what you're doing for the culture.
Thank you, bro.
So you keep saying you went to my show, but people don't even know it happened. I actually walked up to this guy and said,
Come to my show.
come to my show. And he agreed, and we took it from there. I really appreciate that, because, you don't have to.
That's
But
why
you did, and you came and you were in the audience, not backstage doing big boy as
No
you are.
big boy.
So
in front of
in
one
front,
foot.
like he was in the crowd. I was performing right directly to you. I really appreciate that, and
Thank you, bro.
yeah, man. This is the beginning. This is the start. I'll make sure more Sierra Leonean artists come to this show.
Let's do it.
I'm happy I'm the first, but
Facts.
definitely this is like an opener for Sierra Leone.
You heard the man. So pull up on me.
Let's do it.
Congrats, brother.
Yeah, man.
Amazing work, man. Amazing.
The Afrobeats Podcast.
Right.